Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Party. I'm going to be doing a re-upload of my controller video thoughts. And it's only because I misspoke on the Dualsense Edge controller. Real quick before I start, guys, this is going to be a long video. I'm going to add some chapters to it so you can skip around to wherever you feel like going to. I really wanted to go over everything and make sure I knocked everything. So feel free to skip around to sections you don't want to see. Alright, so I want to start off the video describing the main difference between the TMR sticks, all three of them, versus the standard sticks in your Xbox or in your PlayStation controller. The Edge and the DualSense use the same Alps sensor, and the standard potentiometer uses wipers and electrical resistance to figure out where the analog stick location is, whereas the magnetic ones use magnets to figure that out, and tunneling magnets on the TMR over the Hall Effect, which makes it even more accurate and uses less power. So this right around here, your lower end dead zone on the standard potentiometer, it's a little slower in sensitivity because of how it uses the electricity over the magnets, whereas on a TMR controller, on this lower end, like the very tiny movements, it is slightly sped up, and the sensitivity is a little faster because it is reading it, and it's getting the readings, I think, quicker, and because it's using the magnets as opposed to electrical resistance, and so it's a little more snappier when it comes to sensitivity on the lower end. And on the higher end, like throughout the whole stick, it's pretty much the same. But when I switched to TMR, I lowered the sensitivity by 0.5 in COD, and it felt exactly the same as my potentiometer, just more consistent throughout the whole life cycle of the TMR over a potentiometer, because potentiometer wears away that material that causes that electrical resistance, and you end up losing your accuracy, whereas TMR, you don't. TMR just has plastic that'll wear away, which is going to take a lot longer than that wiper material. And so I figured I would let you guys know that. And that's going to be personal preference, right? So some people are going to not like the TMR over the potentiometer because of that, but me personally, I don't find it bad. I just lowered my sensitivity and I've got the same feel, but it feels more consistent throughout the life of it, and it does seem a little snappier. Super hard to explain. Like the biggest one that I have the difference was like the SCUF Hall Effect, because they were just so terrible. They used K-Silver Hall Effect, like the first ones they ever made. They had this board on the bottom of it that was for the calibration. It was just awful. It felt like a 10 dead zone, and so that I was able to make a video on and show the difference. The other ones, it's kind of difficult to show, whereas the only one that really has a difference is the GameSir with that circularity setting, which when you check out my GameSir review video, you'll see that, and you could visually see it on the screen, whereas that's the only real difference between all of the TMRs is this circularity setting. And also on the Gulikit, the stick tension. So the stick tension on the Alps sensor and the Xbox are pretty much about the same. The Demon Workshop ones is the same stick tension. The Gulikit's about 20% lighter than the standard potentiometer, and the GameSir is about the same stick tension as the standard potentiometer, and that's your friction, or the resistance moving left and right, up and down. And that stick tension might make a difference for you guys. So if you prefer a lighter stick tension, you can always go with the Battle Beaver or Demon Workshop and have them lower it for you. Whereas the Gulikit now comes with like a 720 degree adjustment, which makes it probably like 20% stronger and 20% lighter than what the Gulikit comes as. So I don't have any experience with it, but that's my guess. So you can make it super light on the Gulikit, and you can make it feel like a standard potentiometer. So let's get into the rest of the video. So I'm going to go over real quick the 4 different TMRs I have experience with. This one is a Demon Workshop TMR stick, and they went ahead and this was a pre-built controller, so I had some type of custom sticks, like it comes with this one, and and that type. I don't know what brand it is, I can't remember. But it's something that they do offer. Like, you can put whatever analog stick, almost whatever analog stick you want on their TMR sticks for the Dualsense Edge or the Dualsense. And the last video I misspoke and said that the Battle Beaver and the Demon Workshop could not be recalibrated, and I was completely wrong, and that's why this video is being re-uploaded. This is the Demon Workshop one taken apart, and you can see right around there, that little, extremely tiny jumper wire, and it does not affect the controller module fitting in the case at all. And the Battle Beaver one has a little thing showing where you can't see that jumper wire, but when you put the bottom case on, give me one sec. All right, I'm back. Right here on the case, you can see the hole. This is an OEM stick, and on the Battle Beaver and on the Demon Workshop, if the Battle Beaver didn't have the sticker, you would clearly see that there, and they look the same. Battle Beaver went into a different spot with the jumper wire over the Demon Workshop, but that's just preference. You just need to get the right voltage to allow the stick to go into calibration mode. And so let me move that out of the way. And so I wanted to talk about the TMRs between the three. On PC, they feel almost exactly the same and I had them pulling at 1000 hertz. And even when you bump up on my PC to like 2000 or 4000 with an overclock, you can kind of feel a difference between the pulling rates on PC. Whereas on console, between my PlayStation Dualsense Edge, or my Dualsense and then Dualsense Edge, with the pulling rate, there is a faster pulling rate on the Dualsense Edge over USB. This is at 250 hertz over USB, and I can't use Bluetooth because I live in a condo and I have a couple routers that for different networks at my house, and then I also have my phone and a bunch of different Bluetooth devices. So personally, I can't do USB or Bluetooth and get a consistent pulling rate. And so it's 250 hertz for the Dualsense, 1000 hertz for Dualsense Edge, and then Denial ZH did a test on it on his channel on YouTube. It'll be in my description, or also in my Pro Player Settings and Advice video. You'll find his channel, and it's about 4 milliseconds quicker of input delay. So when you push a button, pull the trigger, that's about half a frame at 120 hertz on the PS5 and PS5 Pro. And personally, I can't tell the difference, probably because I don't play enough COD at the moment to be able to tell. But if you do notice a difference playing from the Dualsense to the Dualsense Edge, it's not a placebo, it's real. Alright, because I went over the pulling rate of the Dualsense versus Dualsense Edge, might as well go over the pulling rate on the Xbox of the GameSir versus the standard OEM controller. So standard OEM controller boards, they pull at 125 hertz over USB on the Xbox, and over wireless as well, from what I understand. The GameSir this one here specifically is wired only for Xbox, and it pulls at 250 hertz. And on the Xbox, in my review of this controller, when I did the video review, yeah, I can feel the difference between a standard Xbox controller at 125 hertz on the Xbox to 250 hertz. It's a big difference in snappiness and feel and whatnot. Whereas on the PlayStation, it's not, and I don't understand why on the PlayStation it's not. That's probably like console limitation. Who knows? All right. And the other one, like going from bumpers. So this has bumpers here, or the full triggers to mouse click. So I do notice a difference in my snappiness in shooting and aiming between that. So that's also another way to get rid of your input delay. And I think between the mouse clicks is why I don't notice that much of a difference on the console. Plus it's only running at 120 hertz. So you get that what is it, 4 millisecond delay, so it's half a frame, whereas on my PC, if I had this running, I know for a fact if this is running at 250 hertz or this one's running at 250 hertz, and you bump them up to 1,000, you can clearly tell a difference. Same thing with like the GameSir. So on PC, it's not even a, it's something you can 100% feel. On console, it's kind of hard to tell, but there is a delay. All right, I also want to talk about a tip I got from Demon Workshop when it comes to your TMR. So say if you do your Gulikit upgrade, there's a speaker in there that's got a pretty decent magnet, and it's right next to these analogs, and TMR uses magnetic resistance to tell the resistance in it. And I personally didn't have an issue with my speaker in, but I went ahead and removed them. The Demon Workshop one comes without the speaker from the factory, I guess you'd call it. And I'll just go over real quick the pros of this controller over the regular Edge. And I went ahead and I left the bumpers the same, just because like grenades, I'll use that for grenades, and it feels better for me with using this as the trigger on the Dualsense Edge. And so this has got the Demon Workshop specific mouse clicks, and it's super nice. And on the back, it has the same switch for the trigger in these extra buttons. So I got 4 buttons. It's remappable, super easy to remap, extremely easy. You could tell based on the light right here. It's on their website. I don't want to go over it in the video right now, but and also the cool thing about the controller, I don't know if it's hard to tell, but you could see that my middle finger is right here and my next finger is there, and it just rests on them. So whenever I want to push it, I just am able to do it. And the same thing with the other side, and it doesn't affect anything. I still have a good grip on the controller. It's super nice. Similar quality, in my opinion, to like the SCUF one, where you got the paddle, where you have super control and still good grip with the controller and whatnot. So I just wanted to add that in there too. And then a quick overview of the TMR sticks. So on the G7 Pro, this is pretty specific to GameSir. They have this setting called Circularity, and you'll see it in the calibration test that'll be up next. And in the circularity settings, it pretty much gets a perfect circularity using software that's proprietary to GameSir. No other controller has it. And basically you get like a perfect circle when you whip the analog around really fast. Whereas on any of the other sticks, like the OEM stick that I got right there, the Battle Beaver, the Demon Workshop, the OEM stick here, the Gulikit, it's kind of like a not a perfect circle, because you'll see it on the calibration, it kind of is a little squared. And it's pretty interesting that I think this feels slightly better when it comes to that on PC. And I do like that. That's pretty awesome. And I also have a review on the GameSir fully. It's got its own little video you can check out. And then I also got a good review on the Gulikit as well. It's got a full review as well. That's in-game, showing the difference between TMR and potentiometer and Hall Effect. And SCUF's Hall Effect sticks are the absolute worst. Make sure you don't ever buy a Hall Effect stick. They did come out with a TMR stick that you can get, and I can't really speak on it just yet. I don't have one. I'm assuming that they fixed their problem with their using really crappy Hall Effect sticks with the calibration board on the bottom that caused a ton of input delay and had a really bad dead zone from the factory, to where it felt like a 10 dead zone when it was on 0 in game, which was absolutely freaking pitiful. And that's what kind of set me down my path of different controllers and finding out what was right, because I had a bunch of SCUFs that had regular sticks, and I bought the SCUF Hall Effect stick thinking that was a really good controller, and that's the worst stick I ever bought in my entire life for a controller. It was a brick, basically. Yeah, real quick before we go into the calibration section, I just wanted to talk about the analog stick heights and what I play at and what I prefer. So I do prefer the metal on like the Gulikit stick. You can see right there how it's metal. It just feels nice and smooth. Same thing with the Gulikit. It feels nice and smooth on both of them. And so it feels the same too, but I mean it's just another level of smoothness to the circularity on them. So that's what I do prefer. And so you'll see I have like the the SCUF caps on mine, and that's pretty much what I play with. I only really have the 2 sets. I'll probably buy like 1 or 2 more just to get consistency out of it. I don't mind the Demon Workshop one right here because it is convex, and it's the same height as like the SCUF one. And the same thing with the Control Freaks I got. And I don't really like the Control Freaks as much because they're a little rough and not as circular. You could see it kind of is flat. I like that domed feel at the top and the smoothness of it. It's kind of distracting for me in a way. I don't know how to explain it. That's just personal preference. All right, let's get into the calibration video for you guys. All right, this is the calibration section of my video. I'm going to start off with the GameSir, and then I'm going to go to the Gulikit, and then I will do the standard potentiometer in the Dualsense Edge, which would have a similar result if it was in a Dualsense. It's the same analog stick. And then I'm going to go to the Demon Workshop, and then I'll go to the Beaver. And something I'm thinking about doing with my Demon Workshop just to have a more consistent feel is, and now that I can actually recalibrate it, I'm going to take off the custom analog stick and put on an OEM PS5 one, and then add the little SCUF height thing to it so it feels just like all my other ones with the SCUF one, which is kind of cool. And same thing with the Beaver, it already has that PS5 stick. And I'm also going to go into a bonus section at the end of the video like I did in a couple of my other ones and show you how to recalibrate controllers using the software from Beaver. And I think that's about it. So let's get into the Gulikit. So I'll go ahead and click Test Circularity. And this has that custom setting, and so it's going to show 0. Like right off the bat, it shows 0. And it really does feel like that. I mean, it's probably not perfectly 0, but I mean, man, it feels like it in game. Definitely check out my GameSir G7 Pro video if you're looking for an Xbox controller specifically, or a PC controller, because it's only $80. It's probably the best value out of every controller I own. Actually, it is the best value, hands down. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and plug in my Gulikit. All right, the Gulikit is plugged in. And I'm not sure why it does this on the screen, but I'm going to do it on the right side. So I'll test circularity, and the right stick, and the left stick. And you could see where I point on my screen with my mouse, how it's not perfectly circular. It's kind of like got a little bit squaredness to it in certain spots, but it feels great in game, it really does. Just earlier one time, I feel like the Gulikit, yeah, I mean, that's weird. Usually get a better reading on the right stick. I'm not really sure why it's not. All right, let's go to the Demon Workshop. All right, Demon Workshop is plugged in, and let's hit Test Circularity. And you see how it's not like perfectly circular. It's got a little bit of squaredness on the corners. But that's normal for most analogs. The GameSir is the only one I know of that does exactly a 0. It's crazy. On the left side of the screen is a normal Alps sensor. This is what you usually get from your PlayStation controller, your DualSense and DualSense Edge when they're new. Next up will be the Beaver. Alright, I got the Beaver plugged in. Let's test it out. And this is the best one, circularity, out of all of my TMR sticks, besides the GameSir. But between the Demon Workshop and the Gulikit, the Beaver has the best looking circularity, which is pretty nice. Good job on the Beaver. Alright, so I'm going to go over SCUF, Beaver, and Demon Workshop, and the G7 on the websites, just to do a little better of a review, as if this video isn't long enough. So this is pretty much the end of the video for the TMR. This is just going to be a bonus section. And I'm just going to rant a little bit about the SCUF controllers. So their Reflex FPS TMR is probably good to go. They charge $279 for it, so $280. Let's take a look at the Hall Effect one. Is complete dog crap, and it's at $250. I think they should be charging $250 for their TMR, in all honesty. This is a massive downgrade over the standard one, which they charge... Whoops. Let's see. They charge Reflex FPS $259.99 for. Maybe I clicked the wrong one. So reflex FPS. They don't even offer a Hall Effect for it. Thank goodness. This shit's freaking pitiful. But yeah, the TMR for the reflex should have been $250. That's what I paid for my reflex FPS. That's what you could have paid for the reflex FPS Hall Effect. I ended up buying the reflex FPS plus Hall Effect with mouse click triggers for $320, and it was the biggest mistake I've ever made in buying a controller. Next up was their Valor Pro with Hall Effects, and that was complete dog doo-doo too. Don't recommend them. I know they make a Valor Pro with TMR, and I would kind of stick away from it unless a pro talks good about it. I wouldn't touch it. The Instinct controllers, these have an issue because they come from the fact they come with a standard OEM board, and you can't remap it because it's got a locked custom firmware. And so for $189, this is kind of a nightmare to deal with. Now, if you really like the controller, there's people who will modify it for you and put like Gulikit in it. And Demon Workshop will also put their stick in it, but it costs a lot of money because they have to replace the board in there so that they can have an unlocked Xbox board that allows calibration in the app. I think SCUF kind of cheaped out and didn't pay for that premium, and so they did something where they cheaped out because it's pitiful. And this board will always pull at 125 hertz, whereas the Gulikit, or not the Gulikit, the GameSir is 250 hertz. So me personally, that for that $80, it's a steal of a deal. Let's go to that real quick. At the GameSir website, and I don't recommend buying it from GameSir. I recommend buying it from because it comes from China, and I recommend buying it from GameStop if they have it, or Best Buy or Amazon, because some of them have a issue with just quality, and you might want to return it back. But other than like cosmetic issue, and there's also a issue that I didn't really discuss in any of my GameSir review video because I didn't have the issue, but there's a firmware issue where you press the Xbox button and it doesn't act properly. You have to like press it a certain way to get the menu to pop up right. I'm not really an Xbox player, and my friend had the issue. He followed the guide on Reddit on how to fix that, and it had something to do with deleting the GameSir app on his Xbox and something else. So there was a fix for it. It is really annoying. It is an issue that I never had, but my friend had, and so I figured I would talk about it with you guys. And other people have complained about like lines in the face of it, or just looks terrible paint job. So if you buy it from them, they will definitely give you some money for it. But I mean, if you get it from Amazon or Best Buy, you can just return it. Not a big deal. This is the one I have, the white wired one. They make a wireless version for Xbox. I have no experience with it. Then they make like another one that's supposedly better, but they're all the TMR sticks, these three right here. So this is the Demon Workshop page, and they have some pretty nice controllers here. They have some pre-built Dualsense Edge controllers available. They also do customization for the Dualsense Edge, so if that's something you're interested in, hit them up. They also do the Dualsense too, right? So this is a Dualsense. Where's the Edge? And see, they also do a regular OEM Xbox controller too, which if you prefer that over the with TMR over the SCUF one, this is an option for you. I'm not sure how those buttons would feel on an Xbox, but I'm sure it's all right. Let's take a look. No Edge controllers, unfortunately, but they do offer Edge repairs. Let's go ahead and find it for you. All right, so with the Edge controller, there is a minimum $50 fee for fixing. I saw it somewhere on there. I don't see it now, so you got to get $50 worth of upgrades for it, because it is, and they do charge a little extra because it is very difficult to work on. But they have TMR for your PS5 for $25 each replaced. bumpers and triggers, mouse clicks, $50 per set. So you're looking at $100 for some mouse click triggers and bumpers and TMR upgrade. And if you add some buttons, $25 for the Demon mouse clicks. Not really sure exactly what it is, but you can always email them and get a good estimate for you. And then here's Battle Beaver, the original GOAT controller. That is also came out around when SCUF came out, and they were good, both really good quality and competing neck and neck. And Battle Beaver hasn't really made any mistakes like SCUF did with their stupid Hall Effect sticks, so I do appreciate that from them. Let's take a look and see what they offer for their... And also, TMR Workshop offers the same stuff with their Edge modules. These guys offer something, the same thing that Demon Workshop offers, which is smart stick click, custom stick tension. So you got like decreased, light, increased, heavy, and then standard. And they offer alternative thumb sticks too. I think mine was the Z stick is what I got from them, from Demon Workshop as well. So this is just something to think about. The Magneto sticks too, they offer those. It was like $65 for mine, with a new stick from them. And Demon Workshop, they charged about $50 each one for, or it said 25, I don't know, but it was a good deal in my opinion. They offer your send-in service as well. So yeah, I'm getting this board in the future whenever they become available. It's pre-ordered only. It's a custom Marious board for the PS4 controller, and its latency and polling rate on PC is absolutely insanely fast. And I feel like this controller will be the only real controller where I can tell a difference on PC. And I'll find out. And it comes with Hall Effect sensors that have 5-pin instead of 3-pin, so it's more accurate that way. And the latency between when you push a button, like a face button, or do any input on the controller is basically removed. Like, it's super fast. It's a custom board, custom firmware. It emulates the DS4 controller, but it's only available for PC. And so I got this with their Hall Effect sticks and a couple buttons on the back and some mouse click triggers. And when I get this, I'll do a in-game review between the G7 Pro on my PC, this controller, and like my Dualsense Edge or Dualsense. And that's when I'll actually do my in-game and see if there is really a difference. I have a feeling there is. A few people have already reviewed them on YouTube who are YouTubers, and they say there is. So looking at the stats, it looks like there is. And between how they say there is, I'm sure there is on PC. And on PCs where you can really tell a difference, because I can get like close to 300 FPS. And I mean, there was also a little bit of a diminishing return on PC because of that aim assist. The aim assist does take over a little bit, but I figured why not get this and why not try it out? Why not have the absolute, what I think is the best controller for PC, for Xbox, and for PlayStation. Alright guys, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the whole thing. I just wanted to go over my channel real quick if you're new. This SCUF Hall Effect vs TMR review and saga is where all my controller videos are. And this G7 Pro TMR analog stick review goes really in depth on the G7 Pro on my PC and on Xbox. And then this one, video 3 of 3, Gulikit versus standard potentiometer versus the Hall Effect. This is a really good in-view video. And this one shows that circularity too, if you really want to see the me go over the Circularity. These are my two that I highly recommend if you're, especially if you're going to get a G7 Pro. If you're looking to get in the G7 Pro, and then this one right here, if you're really trying to see the difference between potentiometer versus Hall Effect versus TMR, you know. So hopefully that helped you guys out. And then also pro player settings and advice. I'll be posting anything I find super helpful down here for the latest COD. I haven't been playing COD the last couple months that often. It's not as fun as it used to be for me, unfortunately, so I've kind of died down on it. My friends don't get on as much. Kind of just sucks right now, the state of COD. And then the next COD, I'm probably not going to play that often, so it kind of blows that really not going to be playing much in the next year, unfortunately. So channel's probably going to die off a little bit when it comes to like my actual like game videos and whatnot. And hopefully this is the last controller video I make, because I pretty much went pretty in depth on everything, and I have 2 other really good review videos out there that could help you out. And yeah, and let's see, I think I even have on my first video this stick drift fix. So if you wanted to find how to do the calibration, let's see, yep, right here at 1608 I go over exactly how to calibrate a controller, and on their website. You don't even have to download the app or anything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and take care.